What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So this all started a couple of nights ago when the Grizzlies were playing, I think it was the Lakers. And it was a loss for the Memphis Grizzlies. And in that game, Ja Morant only scored, I think, something like 8 points. And not only was he just not effective offensively, but he just didn't even seem engaged in the game at all, barely going through the motions. His pace was slow. He just didn't seem like he was really giving any effort, to the point where former NBA player Blake Griffin questioned Ja Morant's mental state right now as far as playing a game of basketball. And the reporters asked him about that, and Ja Morant seemed really defensive and basically told reporters to ask the training staff about that. I'm assuming the training staff, or the coaching staff, I should say, not training staff. The coaching staff got after him about that. So he was suspended for a game, Ja Morant. And last night they played the Pistons. They lost. I think in the game, Ja Morant had like something like 18 points and 10 assists or something like that. But they lost. And the Grizzlies are now 3-5. Ja Morant in the post-game interview or the post-game presser with media said something that sounded eerily similar to something that Jimmy Butler said a year ago, that he's lost his joy. He's lost his joy for basketball.
Were you and the coaching staff able to talk about what happened Friday and move on?
Y'all asked that question to them, huh?
What about for you?
Y'all asked that question, so y'all know the answer to that.
Do you feel like everything's been resolved?
Yeah. They told y'all that, right?
Well, yeah, but
There
we
you
didn't
go.
hear it from you.
Obviously, they can't go and tell y'all something I ain't say.
You feel like you get the same joy right now that we used to see from you?
No.
Why not?
What can be done to get it back?
We'll see.
Do you think you have a good relationship with the franchise
Yeah.
in general?
Yeah. They told y'all that, right?
I didn't say anything about that.
If I had a good relationship, I wouldn't talk to them at all. So. And we had our combos over these.
Do you have any regrets about the way you played on Friday night in the second half?
You said what?
Do you have any regrets about the way you played in the game? I'm not talking about the
That's your home run question? Sound like a bait question.
Well, it's clear that Ja Morant don't like the media, man. And given some of the recent, headings and media narrative regarding Ja Morant, I can understand to a certain extent why he doesn't like the mainstream media, but a lot of it is his fault. Look, to me, I think it's kind of obvious now that Ja Morant is signaling that he wants out of Memphis. Now, I thought about it. He keeps talking about the coaching staff. And then I had totally forgotten. That's right. The Grizzlies fired Taylor Jenkins with games left in the season last year. Remember, they fired him, which is usually something that is done in the offseason. You're going to fire somebody. And it didn't make any sense to me because I thought Memphis was doing okay record-wise. I mean, no one expected them to be the top 3 team in the West. And I remember, something to the effect of Ja Morant not liking that coaching, that decision to fire him. But I forgot some of the information I read about that. But anyway, it's interesting that now that this new head coach, excuse me, now that this new head coach, Ja Morant has, quote unquote, lost his joy. I don't know. Some of it also could be, Recently, John Morant, not that recently, but last year, he had the little thing where, after a bucket, initially he would act like he's shooting guns in the crowd. And the NBA, with the assistance of the media, pointing that out, they fined him for doing that. So then he started doing the grenade thing, and which I found funny, to be honest with you. But the media and the NBA fined him for that. I'm like this, man. I'm like 80% think that he's a knucklehead that you can't win with. Like John Morant's not the type of player that's going to lead you to a championship. To me, he's just not that type of dude. His mindset kind of gets me into, like I said before, he kind of reminds me of like a J.R. Ryder, Derek Coleman type guy with his mindset. If in the right environment, with a limited but effective role, he could be effective. If he's kept on a short leash, I know that sounds fucked up to say it like that, but I can see him being effective that way. But as a main guy, I don't think he's the dude. But it sounds like to me, increasingly, John Morant he's checked out of this team. And all you're going to get, I think, out of John Morant is 70%. You're going to get 23 points. You're going to get maybe 4 rebounds and 7 assists a night from him. He'll give you he gonna give you his standard production, and that's out. And that's it. He's gonna punch in the clock, do what you gotta do, punch out, and continue to signal to the team and the media that he don't want to be there no more. And I just hope it doesn't ratchet up to some of the obviously disrespectful things that Jimmy Butler started doing to force Pat Riley's hand. I just hope it don't get to that point. Because at the very least, Jimmy Butler did have some playoff success and some regular season success to give him, I don't want to say leeway, but it gave him some sort of value to other teams. You know what I'm saying? Like, not here to win a championship, but we do know that Jimmy Butler can be that valuable number 2 piece, or maybe at this stage of his career, at least number 3 piece. Number 3 piece. But Ja, when you think about it, man, haven't everything gone downhill for Ja ever since he said he not worried about the West? The interview some years ago. Yeah, that might be one of the worst statements uttered by a star player ever in hindsight, because the West is loaded and Memphis is probably going to finish with, like, the way they're rolling right now, they may finish with less than 40 wins. It'll be another wasted season. But anyway, that's all I got to say about it, man. Tell what you guys think. But before I finish, what team really wants him at this point? That's the other thing I'm thinking about. Like, he's undersized. He gets hurt a lot. Clearly, he has an attitude problem. His outside shot is hit or miss at times. His mid-range is more missed than hit. Then you have to always worry about the occasional off-the-court kerfuffle with this dude. So I don't know, man. Anyway, tell what you guys think.